more of that. I also think it's not bad for the horses to run on the turf. I think, in some ways, you also enhance their chances of staying sound, although there have been some issues. The late Henry Cecil said Bosra Sham, one of the legends of the turf over there, literally, it was hard to keep her feet, really in good condition. So that was just one of those things, and it was hard to keep her sound. But I think, whether you're running on turf or dirt, horses always have, either little quirks, or there can be at any time the possibility of some physical issue. But bottom line is that we need to diversify the breed. And instead of being mad at the Europeans for being smart and intelligent about the way they, go out and recruit and buy and purchase racehorses, we need, instead of being angry at them, which I'm not, by the way, instead of doing that, monkey see, monkey do. It's a very simple concept. Go to France, go to Europe, find a consultant if you're not going to be there hands-on, and find some good runners. I mean, you look from the dam side. Even what's great about the European horses is just the strength on the broodmare side. You got to feel good about your chances of getting a runner when you've got horses like Urban Sea, who is the dam of Galileo, who's of course by Sadler's Wells, and of course he's become, like Sadler's Wells, the super sire, and that of course makes Sadler's Wells, as aforementioned, the sire of sires. But you look at some of these horses over the last few years. I mean, the Ouija boards, and Treve, a two-time winner of the Arc de Triomphe, and Zarkava, who probably, if she hadn't been retired after going 7 for 7 and blowing away the field at Longchamp when it was held there, it's been since moved to Chantilly race course. Just an incredible filly. She was bred to See the Stars, who of course one of the legends of the game of 2009, ran the table, winning the Epsom Derby, the Eclipse, and the Judd Mine International, the Champion Stakes, and then he won the Arc de Triomphe in just a scintillating, just a stunning performance against another great filly in Stace Alita, who of course never won the Arc, but was very viable, as was Islington when she finished 5th, and then she went on to win multiple Group 1s, another daughter of Sadler's Wells, and another one of those great broodmares out there. And that's, what I'm getting at. Just these serious fillies that can run a mile and a quarter, a mile and a half. Doesn't anybody think that if we go and get one of those horses on the dam side, not even so much the tremendous sire power they have, that we can't get a horse that can become one of those super, freaky magic carpet ride, take me to the Triple Crown or to the Breeders' Cup or multiple Group 1 wins type of glory? Do you really believe for one moment that there's no chance in the world, with the strength of those pedigrees, that you can't get a horse that could be something extremely special here in the United States? And that's where the problem is, that we're not going over and not so much trying to take their horses or exact revenge on a dish served cold by grabbing all their horses because they took ours. It's great business. It's a tremendous business acumen to say, and it's real simple. Just like, when recruiting athletes, you go out and you try to get the best players, whether they're black, white, green, or yellow, and it's no different with horses. You go and you can find a good horse anywhere. I mean, there have been probably so many missed opportunities, and hopefully after today, and in the coming days and weeks, someone will maybe perhaps, see that there's some credence in what's being said, and that it's plausible, more than plausible, to maybe execute this plan, because it makes a lot of sense. Why don't we go to the sales in Australia or find someone to consult for us? Same way that JB, the McCathan brothers, JB and his brother, did some consulting for Bob Baffert down in Florida to get certain horses. Why can't that be extrapolated to Europe? For anyone to say that it's too far to come, or too far to go to Europe, when we've got trainers from the West Coast coming all the way to Kentucky, and in Bob Baffert's case this past week upon press time at the release of this podcast, coming all the way from California to attend the Saratoga Fasig-Tipton yearling sale, that's, kind of, a bit of a wash right there. It kind of, there's not a lot of credibility in a statement like that. But again, when you have that kind of mentality, that's what the problem is. So I think people need to get their, out of that, what they used to call ass backwards mentality, and start really, really looking at things in an intelligent way. And I'll guarantee you that, you'll see more stars. I mean, there's just too many serious runners in Europe that, are now, of course, in the breeding, now part of, major breeding operations that could really, really provide, could really make sparks fly here in American racing. But until that time, the Europeans are going to still, you know, basically carry on with the more the merrier for us if no one else wants to buy our horses. And trust me, there are a lot of really, really solid outfits, be it the German outfits, the Italians, and surrounding the neighbors, their surrounding neighbors in Europe, as well as a few very, very forward-thinking Americans and Canadians that are, you know, having a good time, and they're, you know, they've joined the party. And so I would suggest to a lot of people out there that are complaining about what's going on is to, like I said, monkey see, monkey do. You know, follow the same game plan and then come up with some of your own tweaks on it and do the same thing. And, you know, the champagne will flow for you and your superstars are going to be abound. Maybe not in bunches, but you're going to certainly run a better chance of getting one. So that's just one of the things that we're going to continue to discuss as time goes along. We're going to actually, in time, be using a little more video to accentuate some of these points right here on CS Racing 2018.